Hello and welcome.
Hello and welcome. Afloat Friday, episode 3.
Yep.
Sorry we didn't have a pod yesterday, but we wanted to save it all for this.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Big news.
Kind of.
Big situation.
Yeah.
For some.
Chromakopia. For us.
For us. We'll talk about it.
Chromakopia. Tyler Creator's, is it maybe his 10th album? I don't remember.
Nah.
But is out.
I think it's the 7th.
He put out a studio album.
Yeah. They created so much more of a thing now. Oh, that's so annoying. Okay. I think it's the 7th.
Okay. I mean, we can do this. Goblin, Wolf, Cherry Bomb, Flower Boy, Igor, Call Me If You Get Lost. Yeah.
7th?
7th studio album. Yeah. I mean, kind of out of nowhere like he does often.
Yeah. No, yeah, for sure. 100% dropped out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Did he... I thought there was a little bit more of a lead-in to Call Me If You Get Lost.
There might have been, but for Igor, it was kind of this situation.
Yes, it was very sudden. Very sudden. Yeah.
So he likes to do this.
Yeah, I think definitely it's intermittent. Like, I think, like, there's projects where it's, like, big, grand thing.
Yeah.
And then projects where it's a little more kind of quick. Like, I feel like Call Me If You Get Lost is definitely more of, like, a grand scale universe idea.
Yeah, like, he had billboards and stuff.
Right.
And kind of teasing it.
Right. And the same, I feel like, with Flower Boy.
A little, yeah.
I feel like Flower Boy was similar in that
He kind of alternates, I guess.
Yeah, he kind of alternates, you know, in terms of rollouts and in terms of,
Yeah.
But yeah, no. I will say, this is kind of jumping into it, but like, all the ad promotion stuff that he did.
Yeah.
The videos and the character that he created.
Yeah.
Fucking love it.
It's cool.
The new character
it's
that
cool.
he's become.
That's what he does.
Cool.
Pretty much all of his albums have been a character album.
Right. Is the right word character in that situation? I guess persona.
Sure.
Persona.
Yeah, persona. I guess.
Yeah.
But,
I don't know. I think it's sick.
If you go, it is. It's cool. That's just what he does. That's how his creativity works. He takes on a persona and paints a picture through that view, and those are his albums.
Yeah, he always runs with it, and like, I think it's like just in the rollout, like especially the video of like him announcing. I think the video of him announcing who he's going on tour with is like the best. Like one of the coolest ways with the passports and everyone's like all the different things. Like
it's
that's
very cool.
The coolest like rollout of like who he's going on tour with, and also it's not like Yachty and Paris, Texas were all included in that like kind of like universe of like Chromakopia. You know what I mean? It's not like this is it's not like this is Chromakopia and then there's Lil Yachty and he's doing his thing. Like obviously they're all gonna perform their own music and whatever.
Right.
But it's just cool that they were included in that.
He made it part of the story.
Right, he made it part of the story, which I think is really sick.
Yeah. It is.
Yeah, I love that video, and I love when he like checks Lil Yachty's thing and then throws it back and it's like all animated. I think it's really cool, and I enjoy how there's still elements of like his comedy within, who he like, even though like he's no longer doing like Lord of Squad or like always kind of doing like the funny stuff.
It's still him.
It's still 100% him, and it's still included in like everything he does. So, fuck with it.
That's cool.
Fuck with it.
So how did you feel about the music?
Right, okay, so in terms of the album, kind of forgot that it was happening.
Right.
At first, like I remembered in different moments, like throughout the weekend, I feel like.
Yeah.
And then I think I just saw people, posting about it, so I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Something to listen to. And like I won't lie, like usually I'm someone that like just does. I really don't even be listening to like new music.
Yeah.
It's very common with me to just not really put on like the new album.
Still haven't listened to Miss Morale and the Big Step as far as I'm concerned.
Not yet. That's a great fucking podcast inside joke that we have. I hope there's people that know that inside joke. I think it's a wonderful one. Still haven't listened to it yet. Not yet. Will happen, but it hasn't yet. Yeah, so Sorry, where was I? I was just.
You were listening to you put on the album.
Yeah, so don't always listen to new albums. I was like, okay, yeah, I have the time. I'm just gonna throw this on, give it a listen. As I was listening through, it felt very much just like Tyler. It felt like a good. The first listen I had was very much like analytical of the whole like.
Sure.
Kind of experience of like the music, not really the lyrics or anything, but just kind of like the music. It felt very familiar with just kind of who Tyler is and like the music that he's
for sure.
done. And it did not feel. Just in terms of like the music itself, it did not feel very like different from anything that he's done before, which is not a bad thing at all. I just think that I think honestly for like all of his, I think we'd had this conversation on the podcast before about him and like his music and the different kind of personas and everything mixed together, and how like it took Flower Boy to create Igor, and it took Flower Boy and Igor and everything he did before that to create Call Me If You Get Lost.
Sure. Yeah.
Right? And all those sounds are kind of different. Like there's these different sounds of Tyler throughout between, especially, I mean, I think throughout like his whole career there's drastic changes, but definitely between Flower Boy, Igor, and Call Me If You Get Lost, there's these different changes. This past album, Chromakopia felt like nothing further in terms of like a progression in him like doing anything different. Yeah. Although that's not a bad thing. Yeah. It's like tightened up. Right. And like that's the thing. It's not like he has to go somewhere else and do something different. He's good at creating what he's creating already. Yeah. So this is like this is a quality Tyler project.
And he's already done 3 different albums in a row.
Right.
So there's only so many places he can really go.
Right. So it's a quality Tyler project, and I think that's the thing that like sometimes that I forget about is like like they didn't go anywhere new. Like it's not anything new. It's just the same old but like. And that's fine. Sometimes that's okay when it's like a well-crafted, well-put-together album. Right. And like shows off like exactly like this is. He's putting out the exact message that he's looking to with this album, and we'll get into like the meaning of it and everything in a second.
And when you talk about your first listen being just kind of the music and what it sounds like, I think when you talk about someone who produces in the way that he does, he produces almost all of his music. Right. I think similar to Ye, perhaps. I think the skill of music production and making beats, I think, never goes away. Oh, 100%. I think you can say whatever you want about Kanye's rapping ability, but even on his latest projects, he still knows how to make good beats.
Yeah, there's still some pretty solid beats.
That doesn't go. Yeah. So I don't think no matter what Tyler puts out, I think the production is always going to be solid.
Yeah, and it was. Yeah. It was definitely solid.
And I think. I think we agree on that.
100%. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I think that as I continued to listen and started to listen to more of the lyrics and stuff, I think I kind of got to like. It took like so I've listened to the album probably 2.5 times. Okay. As of right now,
listened twice.
You've listened twice. I'll definitely listen again tomorrow. There's just different things that he gets into on the album that are very deep and they're very personal. And I think that he does a great job of including like those, what's that fucking word? What's that word? Interludes of his mom. Kind of like speaking to him.
His mom is on almost every song. It's not. Right. I think it is probably every song.
Right, and he has all those kinds of interludes in it, like into his songs that kind of set up the next song, which I think is really interesting. And it took me watching the video. Did you watch the video I sent you about Complex kind of breaking down?
A little bit, yeah. I watched half of it and I forgot to watch the rest because I've read that you told me not to watch it.
Oh. Really? So you watched it before you listened?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay, but was it like big of a?
It wasn't. No, it didn't really matter that much.
For sure. Yeah, it was just like the way it took me watching that video and like breaking down the music to like fully understand the words that he was saying exactly, what it all meant and what it all was like pieced together.
And I think speaking to that, his mom as a narrator, he's kind of had a narrator on his past 3 projects now.
Yeah.
Whether that be
DJ Drama
or Gerard Carmichael or on Igor or now his mom.
Yep.
I think that's just another tool that he kind of uses to just in his art.
Yeah. Elevate the story.
Yeah. And that's just he uses the personas. He has a narrator. It's a whole story.
Right. And it's done really well. And that's the other thing. I mean, it's a full body project. It's not just like an album you listen to for like a song or two that you like, and then you kind of don't. You know, it's like you kind of listen to that thing fully through.
Yeah.
Which I think is awesome. I think it's a solid piece, and I think it's definitely songs that you can pull out and listen to by themselves. Obviously, and it's still really great.
But I think it works a lot. It works better as a whole.
Right, for 100%. And I think it's a solid album. I think the album itself, I think the rollout was also really cool. Like we had kind of talked about. I mean, the way he's kind of done everything. I'm excited to see what he's going to be like with the tour.
Right.
He's just, he's good at creating. He's good at creating universes, and this is a cool universe to get into.
He is.
And it's exciting to see what he's going to do and how he's going to take this further. I think that, well, you know what else he did, that I think about in terms of promotion for this album is he did the trucks. Do you remember seeing the I didn't see any of them, but like the trucks that the semis?
Yeah.
Where he sent a bunch of those like around the city or whatever, around the country, around the city.
I didn't know he actually sent them around.
He sent them around the country, and like different fans got to like, they'd stop at different places and different fans would see him, and then they started getting to sign him. So when the fans got to sign him, and then I think, I'd have to imagine, but he had a listening event the eve of his album dropping.
Yeah.
And there were a bunch of those. I think I'd have to imagine they're the trailers he was performing on like the trailer things.
It would make sense.
Yeah, so I'd have to imagine those are all the ones, and a bunch of fans signed them, maybe?
Yeah.
I don't know. Don't quote me on that exactly. That might be how it went. But yeah, super sick kind of rollout to lead up to that event. It's just like, it's cool when everything has a purpose. You know what I mean? And everything flows. And, you know, that's like good design. Like, that's good design of a rollout. That's good rollout design.
And we can appreciate that.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did that. The other thing, sorry, I don't mean to dominate the conversation. I feel like
it's cool. I'll get my words in.
Okay. Well, low key, you know what? Like, get your word. I was just gonna say more about like other stuff.
Yeah.
Around the album, not like with the album. So you talk about the album. You talk about your thoughts on the album.
Well, I listened. We're recording this on Tuesday, the day after it came out.
Right.
So this is very fresh. This is our pretty much our first thoughts on the album.
Yeah.
I think this album will be a grower. I think this is gonna grow on me over time.
Mm-hmm.
My first listen, I was at a 6 out of 10. Second listen, I was at like a 6.5, 7.
Wow. Yeah.
So I don't know. I didn't love it off the first listen, but I definitely liked it more second listen.
Yeah.
I don't know. The production was great.
Yeah.
Like I said, if you're good at making beats, you're good at making beats. Mm-hmm. That doesn't really change.
Yep.
But I don't know. I mean, I think it's good, right? Mm-hmm. I think there's one song that I just really can't stand. I think if I took that out of the album, it's a cleaner listen.
Which is
Judge Judy.
I knew you were gonna say that.
I can't stand that song.
I get it.
Yeah.
However, it means so much. And it's an incredible song. Sure. When you listen to the words and everything,
no,
I get how it can be a little kind of like repetitive.
It's not even that. I just don't like the creative choices on that song. Like I think the high pitched voice, it doesn't sound good. I don't like the voice on that song that he uses. I mean, the story is kind of just a little odd in a way.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And I think that the topics he's talking about, it doesn't really, and the voice he's using and the topics, they just don't go together, and I don't think I don't know. It just doesn't. It's just off for me.
Yeah, it's just, you can't. Okay,
and it's right in the middle of the album.
Yeah.
So if I feel like you take that out, it just flows better.
Yeah.
I don't know. But
I feel you.
Yeah. Other than that, I listened to it today, and then I was like, wow, like every song before it, like that stack before Judge Judy is just solid.
Yeah.
Through.
Yeah.
And then afterward is not as solid. I like the first half better, but I still think it's solid. And I think the second half you get a lot more of the substance of the album.
Yeah.
So
I see.
Yeah, I like it, and I still I think it's gonna grow on me still.
Yeah.
But the first impression I had wasn't as I didn't love it as much as the past 3 Tyler albums. The 3 albums like Flower Boy, Igor, Calling Me If You Get Lost is like a crazy 3-album run that he went on.
Yeah. Yeah. This is a little bit different, and
it's definitely different.
I enjoy it's a different side of Tyler.
Yeah, I feel like it's a different step a little bit more Cherry Bomb and a little bit more Goblet on this than the past 3 albums.
100%.
Which he hasn't really gone back to any type of Goblin vibe in a while.
Yeah. And it feels kind of
like almost since Wolf.
Yeah.
Maybe, he hasn't really gone back to that. And I think having made those 3 albums, he's able to go back to that in a way that he still brings his maturity.
Exactly.
His
that's the thing.
Creativeness too, and it's better than anything Goblin was.
Right. It's just such a tight fucking project. It's just so fucking well crafted and well pieced together. Yeah. You know? I mean, I feel like talking about it more makes me appreciate it more. He did his fucking thing in terms of just putting out... sorry. And that's the other thing is, I don't know, I feel like artists, it can be difficult to, narrow down an album and narrow down an idea and a story.
And since the streaming has become so big...
Right.
Artists are... I feel like they're pushed by labels and...
To put out
20-song albums,
right?
Because then you get the streaming money from 20 songs,
right?
And you just, you're more likely to have a hit song,
right?
TikTok's gonna grab something from 20-song album rather than 12,
10,
So I don't know. So yeah, I think the fact that he put out a super cohesive. How long is it? 14 songs?
I think it's 14, yeah.
It's just great.
Yeah.
You get all of... He's putting everything into those 14 tracks, and for the most part, they're great tracks.
Yeah, no, I mean...
And I think there's going to be a point, I keep listening to it, it's going to get better.
100%. I think you'll reach that. I think you'll reach a point where you can at least acknowledge and respect Judge Judy.
Yeah.
And respect his place in the album. I think
maybe.
I think you will.
Maybe, I don't know. That song is just off to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, he's using this.
It's okay. It's alright. You don't have to get back into it. I'm gonna do that for the rest of the pod though. Just kind of bait you into talking about explaining what you don't like about that song.
Yeah, I don't wanna get too deep into it just because there's some heavy themes in that song.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. I think the past 2 albums have had some really clear and apparent themes, and you kind of understand what they're about right from the get-go.
Right.
And I think this album just you have to sink into it a little more to get everything out of it.
Yeah.
And that's why it's going to take me a few listens to really appreciate it. But I can already tell I'm kind of coming around to it. So.
For sure. Yeah, it might take a second, but I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
I think it's solid. I haven't listened to it today. I listened to it 2.5 times on Monday.
Wow.
Plan to listen to it tomorrow a good bit.
Yeah.
Once or twice for sure. I just want to, and that's the other thing that I realized while listening to it is I enjoy a lot of Tyler's albums.
Yeah.
But I don't consider myself like when people say oh, who's your favorite artist or who's some of your favorite artists, I would never say Tyler.
Yeah.
And that's not hate towards Tyler or anything like that. I do enjoy I just never am like, oh yeah, no, Tyler, like I love Tyler.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. I think I used to. Definitely like 4 to 6 years ago, yeah. I did. And now it's kind of, it's just like this, I don't know. Yeah. I feel like after Igor, like it kind of went quiet. You know what I mean? Like Tyler is just the guy, he puts out an album and he's, I don't know, it's just, I forget what I'm saying. But Tyler he used to be one of my favorite artists, or I used to say that he was, and he always has been. Yeah. You just kind of like forget sometimes. Yeah. And then he puts out an album and you're like, yeah, this guy's awesome.
Yeah, sick. Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, I don't know, that was something that I realized. It was like, oh, I actually really enjoy like a lot of the music that he's put out.
I mean, yeah, he's put out 3 really, really solid albums in a row the past 6 years. Yeah. So, or the past more than 6 years. But 6 years, yeah.
Yeah, so it's just wild. It's just wild.
It is.
Yeah, I don't know.
So what get into the let's get into the substance of the album a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. We haven't done that. Yeah, so I mean, you know, a large theme in it is him kind of battling growing up and being like a grown man, and for him realizing that he's older, and there's things like, you know, having children and getting gray chest hairs and, you know, different things like that just kind of, you know, make him a little bit more mature and older, and make him like, you know, just kind of realize his own mortality. He's talking about a lot of different subject matter, that he hasn't spoken about. You know, like Call Me If You Get Lost was a lot about kind of being on a vacation. Right. And experiencing life and enjoying life and, you know, swimming in beautiful water and all that type of shit. And I think, you know, Igor was different. I can't really think about exactly the meaning behind it.
It was about kind of a relationship.
It was romantic. Yeah. And it was definitely like young, you kind of tell it was about younger love and...
Well, it was about like going through a relationship from start to end, basically. Yeah. Like, you're in love and then you break up. And
Huh. Yeah. But I need to re-listen to that album.
I would. It's probably top 2 in his catalog.
Yeah, I need to re-listen. Wow, that's crazy.
I don't know. I have such a hard time ranking his albums. But,
I mean...
there's a lot of... in Flower Boy, you know, it was kind of about finding himself and his sexuality in a way. Mm-hmm. And then he never really talked a lot about sex. Right. But I feel like there's a lot about sex in this album.
Yeah, there is.
And there's a lot about kind of family and his idea of family after he, you know, was raised by a single mother without a father, and kind of him becoming a father or him not becoming a father and kind of battling that. Yeah. And, you know, there's part about his mom, you know, talking about how she wants grandkids. Right. And also talking about who his father was and how it came to be that he wasn't in the picture and that type of stuff. So I think he's kind of also kind of losing some of that resentment that he talked about a lot in his earlier music that he had towards his father. Yeah. And kind of growing up and being put in the similar position probably to his father and his mother. Right. And then coming to understand that better, I feel like. Right. Which is just, it's kind of interesting.
It's interesting. It's just like, it goes back to the whole thing of it just being a lot more mature. It's a lot more of a mature album from him than like a lot of his past work. So it's just different.
And personal too.
And very, extremely personal. Yeah. It gives us a very kind of like in-depth look into what Tyler's thinking about exactly at this moment.
Yeah, and a lot of it's a lot of you're just not used to him being that personal all the time.
Right.
Like while he is personal, he's also kind of hiding it behind like a story.
Yeah.
But you can tell that this is his story, really.
Right.
Like, yeah.
Definitely. So, yeah, I mean, it was just fascinating to listen to. I feel like more than anything else, honestly, I feel like I just need to listen to it more through.
This is just after 2 listens what we picked up on and what we're kind of thinking about it.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I feel like there's a lot more to uncover.
There's a lot more. There's the whole kind of take off the mask part of it.
Right.
Which is again kind of coming to grips with who you are.
Yeah.
And
like
there is the real who you really are as a person instead of the front that you kind of put up. So there's that whole part of it too, and that kind of ties into the whole thing as well.
Right.
But yeah.
I mean, it's just I think more than anything else, it's a lot. It's not a lot, but yeah, it's kind of just there's a lot to it.
There's a lot there, and there hasn't always been a lot there with his albums, and there hasn't necessarily needed to be.
Yeah.
But when he kind of puts so much into this one, it's a lot more to unpack.
Right. And it was all very quick that this came out, and like it's interesting too because I feel like feels like he just dropped like an album not too long ago, but it was 2 years ago.
Call Me If You Get Lost came out 4 years ago. Or 3 years ago.
Oh, it was
2021.
That was 3 years ago. Yeah, so feels like he didn't put an album out that long ago.
It's been a while.
But it's been a while.
He put out the deluxe, so.
Right, he did put out the deluxe like a year after the original came out. Was it a year or less?
It was 2.
2 years after they came out?
Yeah.
Facts. Right, so, yeah, I mean, just a lot more to unpack from this.
Yeah. What do you make of the whole Chromakopia character?
I think it's cool. I mean, I know he's touching back on I believe it's his Nigerian, kind of calling back to his Nigerian roots, I believe. From what I understand with like the hairstyle that he was doing.
Sure.
As well, I think as some of the other kind of elements that were kind of in some of the different videos, some of the original videos for the album.
Yeah.
I think it was the first video in specific. I don't remember what it was. I don't remember what song it was, unless it was Chromakopia.
Was it?
Or Saint Chroma.
Was it? Or it was probably Saint Chroma or Paranoid or Noid.
Noid. I think it was Saint Chroma.
Yeah.
I think that was the first song that he put out. So I think there was a lot in that. So I think that's really cool that he's touching back on that, and he's getting a little bit more into that, and I think it's a cool way to go about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like a mix of a lot of different things. It seems kind of. There's also like a Nosferatu vibe that I get from it.
Sure.
It's just gonna. It's gonna be interesting to see how he kind of like continues creating this character and outlining exactly what it is.
For me, thinking about it now, it kind of brings to mind a dark version of Call Me If You Get Lost, because he still has the same style of clothing on in a way, and he still is, stamping passports,
right?
And he still has the briefcase or whatever,
right?
So it's kind of Sir Baudelaire in a way, but kind of as him, and also just a darker version of it.
Yeah,
because this album is not
film noir.
Sure.
I mean,
but it's not the not happy-go-lucky, but like
I get what you're saying.
Just
the kind of pastel colors and all that type of stuff.
It's not just having fun.
Right, exactly. It's not as colorful as Call Me If You Get Lost. It's a little bit more. It's a little bit darker. Yeah. I mean, I think it's cool. I think
it's cool. Yeah.
It's an interesting character and persona to bring on. I feel like there's a lot more to it. I feel like this isn't like done, obviously. I mean, it's still the tour.
We'll see what happens on the tour. That's gonna be interesting to see how he does that character on tour.
Right. Yeah. So it's
and what the kind of set is going to be like.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a cool...
There are 2 stages.
Oh, there are?
Yeah. If you look at the seating map, there's a stage and another stage.
Yeah, for sure.
But it doesn't really show how they connect. So we'll see.
He might just get there a different way. That's sick. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's really awesome with his stage design. I really enjoy what he does with that stuff. So I'm sure he's gonna create something really cool. I also think it's a cool. He created definitely kind of like a Halloweenish vibe also with this album.
Right.
It's timing. It's well timed within kind of Halloween season.
For sure.
So that's also kind of well done. You know, there's elements of it that seem a little bit more Halloweenish, even though it isn't. Exactly.
Yeah, I think. I mean, you like you said, Nosferatu.
Nosferatu.
Yeah, and you get the Frankenstein. Type of look too.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I mean, there you go. That's the other thing that I wanted to add in there was that he did a $5 show Tuesday night tonight. He did a $5 show in Atlanta, and he's doing like 30 minutes of Chromakopia, I guess.
Oh, but is he actually performing?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, okay, because in LA he didn't perform.
Yeah.
He just kind of played the album. So I don't know.
I think he's performing.
Okay. That's cool. Yeah.
And it's like I think it's at a smaller venue or smallish venue. So,
it's
and
cool.
$5 tickets. I mean, that's sick.
Yeah.
So.
It's a cool thing to do.
Yeah, I think he's good at doing all this stuff. Putting out the album, the accoutrements to putting out an album, he's incredible at.
Yeah.
I'm sure merch is going to be pretty sick. I think merch for Call Me If You Get Lost was really awesome. The hoodie I remember being super cool, as well as obviously all the shirts and stuff like that.
I can't think of it off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm hyped. I think all of it will be pretty awesome. Pretty excited for it. I think I'll be there. I think I'll be at the show.
Yeah. We'll try to make our way over there.
Yeah. Yachty's gonna be there.
Right.
Which would be cool. Yeah.
That's our Chromakopia Afloat Friday episode.
Yeah. That's our breakdown.
Yeah. Let us know what you thought of the album.
Yeah.
Let us know what we missed in the album, because we definitely missed something.
Yeah.
And
we'll be back.
Maybe we'll catch up on it at some point in the regular podcast.
We probably will. We might circle back to your thoughts on Judge Judy.
Yeah, we might.
we might not.
Yeah.
Could be a Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers type idea.
Yeah. I might never listen to it again.
Might not.
Might walk out if he does it on tour. You better not do that song on tour.
Bro, don't get into it. Don't get into it right now. Madman. You might. It's fine.
It'll be fine.
It'll be awesome. Alright. Have a good one. Have a good rest of your day.
Stay afloat. Afloat Friday, every Friday, first Friday of the month.
Yeah.
Afloat podcast every Thursday.
Yeah.
And check us out.
Peace.